Good afternoon, everyone, for the Ways and Means voting session. This is Thursday, March 18th. We have about 18 bills on the list. We'll start with House Bill 283, Delegate Washington.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move to re-refer House Bill 283 back to the Education Subcommittee.
Okay. Not hearing any objection. I think there's still some concern pieces to iron out. House Bill 495, Delegate Lutke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 495 came in essentially with two provisions, one of which would prospectively clarify that Maryland's automatic decoupling law also applies to retroactive tax changes passed by the federal government. That provision was largely uncontroversial. It's essentially a clarification of existing policy. The more controversial portion of the bill was a decoupling from three provisions of the CARES Act. In consulting with the Comptroller's Office, we've learned that significantly fewer Maryland tax filers have filed revised tax returns under those provisions. And so the revenue from decoupling from those provisions is not as significant as was first thought. The subcommittee made the decision to, through amendment, strike those three provisions. And so the bill as amended will only clarify our decoupling law going forward. So I move the amendments.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions about the amendments? All right. All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And on the, there we go. Good job, guys. On the bill as amended?
Move favorable. Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any question on 495? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Delegate Long? Anybody else? Okay. House Bill 804, Delegate Lutke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 804 creates a whistleblower reward program in the Comptroller's Office, similar to a program that exists in the IRS and has contributed significantly to the recouping of money from people who've essentially cheated on their taxes. There were a series of amendments that the sponsor worked out in consultation with the Office of the Attorney General. Those resolve some of the concerns regarding potential conflict of interest within the Comptroller's Office, in part by removing some of the discretion for the potential whistleblower rewards within the Comptroller's Office. The Comptroller's Office will still have to establish a wall of separation between the units of the office that essentially investigate these cases and the unit that is making a decision about what exactly the reward will be, but the conflicts of interest are significantly lessened by the amendments. I move the amendments. Second.
Motion and a second. Any question on the amendments? All right, all those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Questions on the bill? All right, all those in favor of the amended bill, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Kevin, the angle on which you're sitting, I don't know if you're raising your right hand or your left hand. You're not voting. Okay, party line minus Hornberger. All right, it's my favorite thing. All right, House Bill 892, Delegate Lutke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 892 creates a Maryland Technology Infrastructure Pilot Program within TEDCO. That program does not have any mandated funding or appropriations in the current year's budget, so it's essentially a zero fiscal note. The amendments, there were some technical amendments, and then the amendments also add a member to the board that oversees the program. Move the amendments.
Second.
Amendment's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
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 Any opposed? And then on the bill as amended,
Move favorable.
Second.
any questions? All those in favor of 892 as amended, say aye.
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 Opposed? Delegate Guyton, stay on it till the end and we'll take your votes on the first two bills that you missed.
Sorry, I lost internet.
We understand, no problem. House Bill 1047, Delegate Wilkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1047 is the Mail-in Voting Enhancement Act. This bill establishes requirements for ballot drop boxes. It allows voters to access information on the status of their mail-in ballot and also allows voters to correct a problem with their mail-in ballot. There were several amendments to this bill that I'll review. Some of the amendments are technical. Another amendment requires the State Board of Elections to complete a report after each statewide election. The amendments require voters to be notified that a mail-in ballot put in a mailbox after the last pickup on election day will not be postmarked until the next day. It requires local boards of elections to take into account particular factors when determining the location of ballot drop boxes. It requires local boards to establish a chain of custody procedure for the removal of ballots from the drop boxes. It strikes language that was in the original bill that talked about electioneering. And it simplifies requirements for allowing voters to access information about the status of their mail-in ballot. It prohibits tampering with a ballot drop box and also requires the state board to contract with a usability consultant to review public information materials and forms related to mail-in voting for better usability and readability. So those are the amendments to the bill. I move the amendments.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions about the amendments? And then I did hear you say that there's a chain of custody piece now with the drop boxes. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Madam Chair.
Okay, all right. All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
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 Opposed? And on the bill as amended,
Move favorable.
Second.
a motion and a second. Any questions? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Party line minus Hornberger.
I think that's just party line.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
We gain one.
How quickly they turn.
Welcome, Delegate Hornberger.
Welcome.
It's a very blue county, Cecil County, very blue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We'll keep you if you don't vote right on every one, okay?
House Bill 1060, Delegate Washington.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1060 alters the membership of the Charles County Board of Education. It creates 3 at-large members on the board, and it also creates 4 district and voting members on the board. It also authorizes a student member of the county board to vote on all matters before the county board, with the exception of certain specified matters. There's also some other additions to the bill that are amendments to the bill. Those are some of the amendments to the bill, and I move the amendments.
Second.
All right, any questions? All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended,
Move favorable.
Second.
questions? Delegate Lasanti?
Yeah, just, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this bill. Is this impacted by a bill that we did earlier in session?
It's a great question, Delegate. No.
Thank you. Good answer. Thank you.
Yeah, that bill only impacted when district delegates were elected countywide. You're allowed to have at large, and then if you have district members, they have to be elected within district.
So a lot of counties do it that way, where they have at-large members, and then they also have district members too. So
Yeah. So it's a hybrid. So it
It's a
basically
hybrid.
creates a hybrid situation.
correct.
Thanks for the clarification. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All those in favor of the bill as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. House Bill 1142, Delegate Washington.
I'm muted. Okay, cool. Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1142, in Howard County, if during school redistricting, the county's board plan differs from that of the county superintendent, the board must allow households whose school assignment is changed only under the county board's plan to provide public testimony before the final vote of the board. There's no amendments to this bill. I move the bill.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor of the bill, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All those in favor of me, stop saying say aye and you just do it when I say who's in favor. Yeah, I'm getting sick of saying those words. Thank you. All right.
Nay.
House Bill 1148, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1148. On this bill, we are secondary to HGL. And we are secondary to this bill, but it requires the transfer of administration of school-based health centers in MSDE to MDH on or before October 1, and the transfer of grants on or before July 2022. The Secretary of Health, in consultation with MSDE, is also required to develop guidelines to support the expansion of school-based health centers. There are no amendments on this bill, Madam Chair. I move the bill.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Party line minus buckle.
And, oh yeah.
We don't want him.
House Bill 1160,
Can't have me.
Delegate Eversole.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1166 was a bill on restraint and seclusion. It had several parts to it. The committee moved an amendment to strike the part with the rather complete restrictions on restraint and seclusion, left the parts about reporting and training, moved the amendment.
Second.
And before there's any questions, I would just add that I believe the subcommittee was kind of split on how to move forward. Everyone saw the problem here, but still working on the right solution. So I think this is one of these bills we're going to be exploring during our off season.
In football vernacular, we punted, but we expect to get the ball back.
All right. All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended, Delegate
Move favorable, Madam Chair.
Second.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you. House Bill 1182, Delegate Barnes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As introduced, the bill requires that the tax collector to sell property on which the taxes are unpaid for at least 5 years with certain expectations. Has an amendment. The amendment strikes the bill as written. New language requires the sale of a certain vacant lot on which the taxes are have been unpaid for at least 8 years. Bill sunsets in 2023. Move the amendment.
Second.
Any questions on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. House Bill 1190, Delegate Washington, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1190 requires the Howard County Board of Education to develop an annual report on the program capacity at each school facility. If student enrollment is not within 10% of the target utilization, the County Board of Education must report to the General Assembly and the Howard County delegation on a plan to adjust the enrollment. If not within 20% of an assessment of the attendance area must be conducted, and if the redetermination of attendance area is not decided, the Board of Education must report to the General Assembly and the Howard County delegation and Delegate Eversole, which is also included in the bill.
Good bill.
Thank you. Any questions on the bill? No amendments. All those in favor of the bill?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, unanimous. House Bill 1209, Delegate Lupke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As members of the committee are well aware, we've been debating issues related to the peer-to-peer car sharing and rental car industries for a number of years. A number of bills working their way through the legislature on various topics related to those two industries. This one only pertains to the sales and use tax on peer-to-peer car sharing. It does not touch the excise tax. It does not touch the agreements at the airports. Those are being addressed in separate pieces of legislation. Essentially, what we ended up doing here was playing King Solomon a little bit and trying to split the baby. We said that, and we borrowed a little bit from our friends across the river in Virginia. We said that if you have more than 10 vehicles on a P2P car sharing site, that essentially you're operating as a rental car business and you should be 11.5% tax rate. If you have 10 or fewer vehicles, then you keep the existing tax rate of 8%. As I explained to the subcommittee, spoken to representatives of both industries, neither is particularly jumping for joy, but neither is particularly angry. I think they see this as a potential compromise position. So I move the amendments.
Second.
Any questions on the amendments?
It's involving policy.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended, Delegate Lubke?
Move favorable.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Delegate Shoemaker, party line minus Buckle.
My God, you guys.
He should stop sucking up right now.
Yeah, he wants to join us.
Uncle, I think you need to mute.
Buckle is muted.
No, I'll just tell you what I think later, Hardman.
House Bill 1255, Delegate Barnes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a series of bills related to homestead and homeowner property tax credits. So this is just another piece of the puzzle. This bill, as introduced, requires home buyers to be given an application for the homestead tax credit and an amendum to the credit for the sales of a home. To change the calculation of income for purposes of the homeowner's tax credit. 3, it expands the retroactive ability of a homeowner's tax credit. And 4, requires SDAT to contract with a usability consultant to review its material concerning the homestead and homeowner's tax credit. This bill has several amendments. Amendment 1 is technical. Amendment 2 requires the notification of the tax credit to be included in the base contract of the sale of residential property rather in the amendum. Requires the application for the homestead tax credit be presented to a home buyer at the settlement of the property. And 4, strikes the provision concerning eligibility for homeowner's tax credit. And 5, requires SDAT and the comptroller to work with Ways and Means Committee on an interim study about 1, simplifying the ways income is calculated for purposes of the homeowner's tax credit, and 2, making the homeowner tax credit automatically renewable. Move the amendments.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on the amendments? All right, all those in favor of the amendments?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Oh, Delegate Ivy seconded. I heard that. All right. All those, any questions? All those in favor of the bill as amended?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, unanimous. House Bill 1307, Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a bill with an excellent concept. It needed a fair amount of amendment, and we are still completing those amendments. So we're going to hold this bill until the next voting session.
And to remind everyone, the next voting session is after the floor session tonight. It will just be on 3 bills, the 1 bill that Delegate Ebersol just mentioned, and 2 bills from the Education Subcommittee. So hopefully everyone already got their email out about that, but being that the subcommittees, I've already met on them, we can just meet in full committee right after session. So it will be relatively brief. All right, House Bill 1343, Delegate Wilkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1343, Anne Arundel County Party Central Committee's Republican requirements. This bill just changes the method of electing the members of the Anne Arundel County Republican Central Committee so that they're elected by county council districts rather than by state legislative districts. And this was unanimous from the Anne Arundel County delegation. They submitted their delegation letter. There was an amendment that again was supported by the delegation that requires one member of the Central Committee to be elected at large. I move the amendment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions?
Technical question.
Sure.
Just curiosity, does the at-large member, is that de facto president or does it not specify?
It does not specify.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? And House Bill 1351, Delegate Wilkins?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is House Bill 1351 regarding contribution through third-party payment processors. We talked about this bill on Friday during our voting session. So again, this is the bill that requires Thank you. This is the bill that requires a campaign finance entity to transfer any payments that are received through this third-party processor into their campaign bank account within 7 days. The change that we made since last week is that we're requiring the state board to send email notice to all of the campaigns so that they will be aware that this is taking place. And as a reminder, the previous amendments on the bill was one allowing the State Board of Elections to assess the civil penalty for violations of this bill. And then there was also a clarifying change. So those are the amendments. I move the adoption of the amendments.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on the amendments? All right, on the bill as amended, I'm sorry, all those in favor of the amendments?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended, Delegate Wilkins?
Move favorable.
Second.
Questions on the bill as amended? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of the bill?
Aye.
Any opposed? Delegate Hartman is all I'm seeing right now. Delegate Delegate Hartman and Delegate Boatler. All right. We do have a second page of two withdrawn bills, House Bill 202 and House Bill 515. Delegate Lutke.
Madam Chair, I move the withdrawn bills unfavorable as a consent calendar.
Second.
Questions? All those in favor of the unfavorable?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, well, I already announced the voting session, so we're doing the three, one early childhood and two education bills later tonight. And then we will still have another handful or more bills to do at some point tomorrow and Saturday. So stay tuned. There's a possibility we might do some before session tomorrow. So that would be logging on at like 9:30 or something, 9:15, 9:30. Just not sure yet, or basically before the floor session. I'm not sure if the floor is starting at 10 tomorrow, given that other committees might need.
I got a question to ask. How
to.
you raise
So
your
just
hand?
stay tuned to your emails, please. Any other announcements from sub chairs?
Madam Chair,
Delegate Wilkins, did you raise your hand?
Yes, sorry, I can't, there's some noise, I can hear you. Yes, everyone, just a reminder for election law. This should have gone out to your emails. If not, it will be there shortly. We will meet to discuss and vote on one bill tomorrow, immediately after floor. Election law subcommittee tomorrow, immediately after floor. Thank you.
And Delegate Patterson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Racing and gaming, we will be meeting tomorrow for subcommittee. I will let you know the time.
All right, so everyone just stay tuned to your email. And did you have a question, Delegate Hornberger?
no, I just wanted to say my laptop is having issues connecting to the internet, so I'm going to have the IT folks look at it. I apologize for any inconvenience.
All right, we didn't mind having you guys on the same screen.
Mhm.
All right, anything else for the good of everyone? Mr. Vice Chair?
Yeah, Madam Chair, did you already announce that I have a meeting right at following this meeting?
I did not.
Oh, sorry. The Education Subcommittee meeting will meet directly following the voting session.
Exit this one and go to the other Zoom.
Correct. So Delegate Holmberger, please find a computer.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right, everyone, see you